what we're also seeing, just switching gears a little bit, is a channel shift that's taking place with B2B adding D2C and B2C adding B2B. So Mark, can you please discuss the challenges, if you're, first of all, if you're seeing this with your companies, and the challenges of adding a new channel?
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely seeing it, and you can see it in the, multi-billion-dollar brands, right? Take, P&G has multi-billion-dollar brands that now sell direct to consumer, right, on big commerce, right? And that was never the case, right? They're in the business of shipping pallets to Walgreens and Target and Walmart, right? And their channel's extremely well established, right? And I would say very entrenched in terms of their pricing and model. Yet there are direct to consumer versions of that where you're fulfilling, one package, right, to one consumer, either direct or on a subscription. And so that change is happening. I think the interesting piece for what we see, and I think Scott hit the nail on the head, is that there are generational changes that are opening up this appetite to experiment and try and test their way into what is possible, and that it doesn't have to break the channel relationship in either of those cases. Take the B2B adding a direct to consumer element. There are ways to do that without kind of cannibalizing or sacrificing the relationship with your channel, right? And some of that is that it's not going to be your largest volume channel, right? At least not for any time soon, but it's going to be your highest margin. And so this opportunity to use the margin in a direct-to-consumer experience, but take advantage of some of the modern things that are now available to a direct-to-consumer e-commerce business, which is third-party fulfillment and logistics, right? You don't have to retool your warehouse to now do pick, pack, and ship of individual products, right? That can actually be done by a third party. Ship them the pallet. Right? They're going to handle pick, pack, ship. They're going to handle returns. They're going to handle the order status trigger that's going to come to our system, so the email or the SMS goes out to the customer, so that they can have this great experience, but they don't have to retool the entire business to think about this. Is like an earth-shattering change to think about moving from pallet, container, carton to I'm shipping one of, and someone's going to have questions, concerns, feedback, all the challenges with consumer. And so there's margin in that, but it's really an opportunity to say, hey, that margin can do interesting things for you. It could add EBIT out of the business. Great. But the other is it lets you have a front row touch to the customer's actual interest and need about the product. And so part of the picture for the large manufacturers that are working to not disintermediate their channel is the result is it's really not going to cannibalize the channel. What it does is helps them build better products. And so now they have the exact experience, not just based on what sells, right? Because what sells can be affected by discounting product, bundling, pricing strategies that happen downstream in the channel. And so you may have moved a bunch of product, they just flushed it out of their warehouse, right, at a discount rate, and you never saw that price change, as opposed to saying, I know what I sold it for. I know what activity and feedback I'm getting from the consumers on it. I can start making adaptations and product adjustments in interesting ways. And so the whole strategy with some of this channel shift is also to learn more as a business, both about the product, the customer, and then again, adding margin. The other direction with B2C going B2B really sits in this notion of wholesale and retail, right? And that the ability to start expanding who you sell to can be really interesting, right? Paper products are a great example, right? Automotive aftermarket parts are a great example where they're selling to dealers, but you're trying to expand the category of what else you can actually provide. And so you may want your dealer to actually carry inventory of something that they otherwise were only taking large single order fulfilled products. Well, great, right? Like that's a natural extension of selling through and expanding into B2B. We see B2B retailers that, again, through the pandemic, they may have had stock of something that they were then selling cases of, right? We had unique, some of the pandemic examples are just kind of interesting and bizarre, right? We had folks that happened to be in like the dental supply business that ended up being flush with N95 masks, right? And sanitizers and these things. Like that's quickly a move where you say, great, pivot the business, list these products. We can now sell case level, pallet level volume of something that they were already sourcing or already flush with. And so I think that brings us down to this whole idea of speed and flexibility of change. That's one of the other pieces of this puzzle, is that because the availability of software and tools and software as a service, like the barrier to entry on these things has all changed. But it isn't that you have to do a multi-year construction of a channel and you have to build out an entire logistics infrastructure and spend an entire cycle on your ERP to make a big change. It's like, great, got data in my ERP, here's the channel, here's my pricing structure, let's go, right? How do I package that, put it in marketing, and have a way to turn that on? And I think that's the one of the biggest things I think companies are getting over and realizing is that that ability to pace some of these changes, the barrier isn't what they often think it is in terms of getting there and getting in market. And I think that's what's exciting, right? Is seeing folks, turn things on and have some of these things go live much faster than they would have imagined relative to kind of classic IT projects.
Yeah,
Alexandra, do you mind if I tack on to that real quick?
please, please.
Mark, you're even smarter than you look. That last part was you're absolutely right. I'll give you a really quick example. We're a buying group, but we're more like a distributor than anything else, just in common business terminology. So we sell the products of 265 different vendors. Our owner members place their orders on the site. The manufacturer vendors ship to our members directly. But having the platform that we have, we could now do basically exactly what you just said. It's almost like B2BX. So instead of just offering the products from all of our established vendors, we could say, without any conflict or competition to those vendors, tack on an ancillary product like masks, for example, or it could be anything. It could be, we could make our own CD mix of, music for the office, whatever it is that we could do that would add value to our owners. We can pop that up on the site. And I like what you said, that it's not necessarily going to be the highest volume, but it's going to be high margin, and it's going to deliver something fun and unexpected to our customer. And we can only do that because we've got a B2B site that's flexible and easy to work with. Other than that, couldn't do it, period.
That's a great way of summarizing that discussion, Scott. Absolutely.